Ever since it was first created, the internet has been being used more and more. Here's a bit of history on the internet.
The Internet, in the year 2009. We send emails, make calls over the Internet, and discuss topics we take an interest in. Even our banking is going virtual. But what we take for granted today was only a vague idea 50 years ago. In order to understand how we got this far, let's go back to 1957, when everything began. Before 1957, computers only worked on one task at a time. This is called batch processing. Of course, this was quite ineffective. With computers getting bigger and bigger, they had to be stored in special cooled rooms. But then the developers couldn't work directly on the computers anymore. Specialists had to be called in to connect them. Programming at that time meant a lot of manual work, and the indirect connection to the computers led to a lot of bugs, wasting time and fraying the developers' nerves. The year 1957 marked a big change. A remote connection had to be installed so that the developers could work directly on the computers. At the same time, the idea of time sharing came up. This is the first concept in computer technology to share the processing power of one computer with multiple users.
There were 4 different inventions that created the internet today. These all revolved around the idea of a decentralized system, so if one part failed, the system would still work. The first was the RAND Corporation. The RAND Corporation was created so that the U.S. could have communication between its military complexes. This was a military network. The second system was the ARPANET. The ARPANET was created to stop the doubling up of information. It was used by major universities within the U.S. The third was a commercial network for the National Physical Laboratory in England. This was the NPL. The fourth network that was created was French. This network name was Cyclades. It was what evolved into the internet that we know today.
Another milestone followed with the development of the French network Cyclades. Since Cyclades had a far smaller budget than ARPANET, and thus also fewer nodes, the focus was laid on the communication with other networks. In this way, the term Internet was born. Moreover, Cyclades' concept went further than ARPA's and the NPL's. During communication between sender and receiver, the computers were not to intervene anymore, but simply serve as a transfer node. Cyclades' protocol went through all machines using a physical layer that was implemented into the hardware, providing a direct connection with the receiver, an end-to-end structure. Inspired by the Cyclades network and driven by the incompatibility between the networks, their connection gained in importance everywhere.
Phones became a big thing that the internet began to run. On February 28, 1990, all old ARPANET software was removed from computers and the internet was born. This chart shows the percent of multiple countries' population using the internet in 1999 in comparison to 2001. Most countries' percentages doubled. Some, such as China, quadrupled. Today we use the internet to run our landlines, our smartphones, our applications, the web, email, texting, our services, our companies, and most of our communications. This chart shows global population in comparison to internet users. The first set of bars is in 2000, the second in 2010, and the third is the prediction for 2020. As you can see, over time, as the population increases, the internet users dramatically increases as well. This chart shows internet usage from 1990 to 2010. The web is the part in red. Its usage has been going down since 2000. Over time, the internet has been getting used more and more. The main reason has been due to advances in technology. It all started with the first system named ARPANET. This led to Cyclades and then to the internet. The internet is getting more and more complex and will continue to be for a very long time. This is due to the fact that the internet is a huge part of people's lives. The web is in decline though. We are switching to more application-based systems as shown by the use of our smartphones.